A 250-pound Neapolitan Mastiff named Trex lived for his owner, a war veteran. When they met the new owner, also named Arthur, destiny whispered. History was repeating itself in the most heart-wrenching way possible. Trex was a living monument of gray velvet and silent sorrow, a 250-pound giant whose deep wrinkles seemed to hold the dust of 1,000 battlefields. His owner, the first Arthur, was a man hollowed out by war. When he returned from the front lines, he expected the warmth of his family, but he found only silence. His entire family had passed away while he was fighting, and the notification letters had vanished in the chaos of combat. He was a ghost in his own home until a fellow soldier gave him Trex as a puppy. Trex became his anchor, his only link to the concept of family. They spent years in shared silence, two survivors finding solace in each other's presence. But time is cruel, and as Arthur's body failed, he knew he couldn't take a giant like Trex to a nursing home. He put out an urgent call for a new home, and that is when the second Arthur arrived. The young man was struck silent by the scale of the dog, sitting like a stone gargoyle in the corner. The veteran saw a kindness in the young Arthur's eyes and a steadiness in his hands. With a voice cracked by age, the old man told the story of how Trex had saved him from total darkness. As the younger Arthur prepared to lead the dog away, the veteran cried out, "Wait!" He hobbled to Trex, burying his face in the dog's massive neck, whispering a final thank you for years of loyalty. He turned to the young man and issued one final command. "He loves the open air, especially the woods. Please promise me you will take him there every single day. Don't let him forget the trees." He retreated into his house, shutting the door on the only family he had left. The younger Arthur stood there, holding the leash of a giant who was now staring at that closed door with a confusion that felt heavier than his 250-pound frame. It was the beginning of a long, silent journey between two beings who shared a name, but not yet a heart. The old veteran had fought his last battle, not with a rifle, but with the courage to let go of the one thing he loved most. Trex didn't bark or pull, he simply leaned his weight toward the door that had just closed forever. His spirit already beginning to mourn a loss he couldn't yet fully understand. As they walked away, Trex's heavy paws dragged on the gravel, a giant soul anchor seeking a past that was already fading into a ghost. The young Arthur felt the tension in the leash, realizing that he hadn't just adopted a dog, he had inherited a legacy of grief and a standard of loyalty that was almost ancient in its intensity. He looked down at the massive creature and realized the road ahead would be measured not in miles, but in the slow, agonizing process of earning a heart that was already broken into pieces. In the weeks that followed, the younger Arthur kept his promise religiously. Every afternoon, he drove Trex deep into the Kentucky woods. He watched as the massive dog moved through the trees like a ghost, his heavy paws treading softly on the fallen leaves. But a cold, invisible wall remained between them. Trex was obedient, but he was emotionally unreachable. He was a dog in perpetual waiting, his eyes scanning the horizon for the old veteran. The younger Arthur often thought about the strange coincidence of their names. He would call out Arthur, and Trex would look back with a gaze so piercing it felt like he was searching for a different soul. "It's like history is repeating itself for you, isn't it?" he would whisper. "Same name, different man, but I know I'm not him yet." I see you haven't subscribed yet, and honestly, that breaks my heart. Subscribing means the world to me and helps me tell more stories like this one. Hit that button right now, because the conclusion of Trex's journey is a testament to the power of a final goodbye. During those long walks, the air between them was thick with a grief that words could not bridge. Trex would often stop by a specific oak tree, his massive head tilted as if listening for a whistle that would never come. Arthur would sit on a nearby log, watching the giant's broad shoulders heave with silent breaths, realizing that he was merely a ghost in the dog's current reality. Despite the distance, the younger Arthur never wavered. He understood that a Neapolitan Mastiff does not surrender its heart twice easily. The woods became their sanctuary, a place where silence was a shared language of respect. Trex would stop and sniff the air, catching a ghost of a scent, and the young man would simply wait, giving the dog time to mourn. He never forced affection, never demanded a wag of the tail, knowing that true loyalty must be harvested, not hunted. Then the phone call came. The nursing home informed him that the veteran had passed away peacefully in his sleep. He knew what he had to do. He dressed in a suit and brought Trex to the quiet funeral service. As they approached the graveside, Trex began to let out a low, guttural whine that vibrated through the ground. The younger Arthur led him to the casket. The giant dog sniffed the wood and let out one final, agonizing thump of his tail against the wet grass. He stood there with his head bowed, a silent guardian standing his final watch. The rain began to fall, mixing with the damp earth, but Trex refused to move until the last prayer was whispered. When they returned home, something shifted. The heavy weight Trex had carried for months seemed to evaporate. As the door closed, the 250-pound giant didn't go to his corner. Instead, he walked straight to the younger Arthur on the sofa. Trex let out a long, shuddering sigh and slowly collapsed his entire immense weight into the man's lap. It was a total surrender. The wall had crumbled. By seeing the veteran one last time, Trex understood that his first watch was over. He looked up at the man who shared his old friend's name and saw not a stranger, but his new anchor. The house, which had felt like a waiting room for months, finally felt like a home. The younger Arthur wrapped his arms around the dog's neck, feeling the pressure of 250 pounds of pure trust. Trex had finally accepted that while his past was buried, his future was right here. This was the moment the dog decided that this Arthur was also worth dying for. If this story moved you, subscribe right now and drop a comment below. Would you have the patience to wait for a heart as heavy as Trex's? Hit that like button to honor the loyalty of guardians who never forget. See you in the next one.